Okay, today I am at BWB, which is a law firm in the city. Today I am talking to charities and social enterprises about the top 5 online marketing tips that they should put into practice today. Later on, I'm going to be joined by Erica Crump, who is a solicitor here, and she's going to be giving us the top 5 legal tips too. Number 1, the biggest thing when it comes to online marketing is your website. What is it saying and what do you want people to do? What I'm referring to is call to action. Understand that when those people visit your website, you need to tell them what to do. Is it to volunteer, to donate, or is it to perform some other kind of activity like data capture? Once you get that call to action down, hopefully it will be satisfied. Number 2 is content. People love content. Search engines love content. Make sure your website has lots and lots of original, valuable content on it. The more it does, the more likely it will be found in search engines. Equally, the more likely people will come back. Number 3 is really a part of number 2, and that's about blogging. Maybe a blog could work for your charity. Maybe it gives you an opportunity to put some really original content on there. Think again about search engines and about originality. Set up a blog and see how it works for you. Number 4 is social media. It's really important that everyone should have a social media presence, because that's going to become more important in the future when you consider search engine optimization. Adopt Facebook, adopt Twitter, adopt LinkedIn. See how those tools will work for you. But whatever you do, make sure you're committed. There's nothing worse than an out-of-date Twitter account. And finally, number 5 is Google. Google is a huge player when it comes to anything to do with online marketing, from search and now with social. Have a look at Google+. See if you can set up an account and really get involved. There are some sharing tools that you can put on your website called Google Plus One. Once you get those things on there, then you really are encouraging your website's visitors to get involved. Those are my top 5 tips for charities and social enterprises. Now we're going to go over to Erica, who's going to give us our top 5 legal tips.
My name's Erica Crump and I'm an associate solicitor at Bates Wells Braithwaite. I work a lot with charities and social enterprises, and I'm really excited about the increasing work we're doing in relation to their websites. But there are a lot of legal issues that I'd like to flag up and some classic pitfalls. My first tip is about web development, maintenance and hosting agreements. If these haven't been negotiated or looked at carefully, you can run into problems later on down the track. There's a common misconception that your web development agreement is something that you can't negotiate, but if it's a high value website or you're purchasing high value services, you should negotiate and you should look out for some key legal issues. The second tip is about privacy and cookies, which is a hot topic at the moment. One of the best things about charities' websites is that they connect with individuals, but if they're collecting personal data, they must ensure that they comply with the provisions of the Data Protection Act. And if you're using cookies, you also need to comply with the cookies legislation. The third tip is about social networking, which is obviously a brilliant opportunity for charities to engage, as Iain's already said. But if you are doing social networking, there's opportunity for liability for your charity or social enterprise. So I'd always advise that you have easy, non-legalistic house rules about how social networking works on your site. My fourth tip is about intellectual property and websites, or what we call IP. You can't really talk about websites without talking about IP. There's 2 things to think about. Firstly, how you're using other people's IP and whether you've got the necessary permissions to do that. And number 2, how are you protecting your own IP to ensure other people aren't nicking or infringing it? My 5th tip is more of a general point about the other legal issues that you might want to think about in relation to your website. These would include a range of things, like if you're selling goods and services through the website, you must make sure you comply with the distance selling regulations, or if you're encouraging donations, make sure you comply with the gift aid rules. There are a range of legal issues to think of, and you should think about them before the event so that you don't run into problems later on. If you do think you've got thorny legal issues that you don't understand, you should take formal legal advice or speak to a solicitor.
Okay, so there was 10 top tips on how charities and social enterprises should be using the web, both from a legal and marketing point of view. If you want more information and to download a booklet, please go to the link at the bottom of your screens now.